Hey people of the VC, it's Andy Cloudy Mulder. I'm going to share with you my collection of 80s metal compilations today. Got a big old bunch of them, so I'm going to pretty much dive straight in. But these range actually from 79 to 89. I think 85 is the only year that I am missing a comp from. Always love compilations, great way to find out new bands back in the day, and a great way to actually find out some bands I missed around first time around when I picked them up. I don't really go out on my way to get metal comps these days, but quite often on Discogs, if I am buying something from one seller, I generally look to see what else they have, and if they do postage of say 1 to 3 records for the same price, I'll always try and find something else, and more often than not I'll find a metal comp that they're selling as well, so I kind of check that in because it feels like I'm getting a freebie even though I'm paying for it. I'm not paying more in postage. So let's jump in. Let's start. Let's grab a handful first, and then you can go on from there. So this is the first batch. So this is 1979, the first couple, and they're not heavy metal as we really know it in the 80s. So this is a CBS release called, I think there was a series called Sounds, and this is the heavy metal album. See the bands on there. We've got REO Speedwagon, Boston, Molly Hatchet, Ted Nugent, Journey, Aerosmith, The Boys, Derringer, and Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush, and Judas Priest, probably the only one there that's we would consider more of the sort of the 80s heavy metal bracket now. But this used to belong to Fiona. Nothing exciting on the inside, standard CBS label. But yes, this was 1979. Another one from 1979 is one that I've seen a number of times on the VC as well, and this is this Precious Metal. There's quite a big write-up on here about how the about what heavy metal is and how it's evolving. But again, in '79 we've got Gary Moore on here, Point Blank, Gillan, Axe, New England, Steppenwolf, Born to Be Wild. Storm is actually probably one of the best bands on here with Machine Gun. There's Axe, there's Tigers of Pantang, Budgie, Lynyrd Skynyrd, and Wishbone Ash. So those are the two 70s ones I have. Moving it into the 80s, first one I'm going to show is this is a K-Tel release. This is Axe Attack. K-Tel albums, kind of mass produced, advertised on TV, not available in the shops. They don't always sound fantastic, but I think they're kind of nice to have now. So we've got Rainbow, Gillan, Priest, Nugent, Scorpions, Girls' School, UFO, AC/DC, Whitesnake, Iron Maiden, Running Free, Aerosmith, Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush, Black Sabbath, Paranoid, and Motorhead Bomber. So there's a good lineup on here. New wave of British heavy metal is just starting, obviously, in 1980 and gathering traction. And one of the people who were really sort of pioneers of promoting new wave of British heavy metal was Tommy Vance and the Friday Rock Show. So this is a 1980 BBC release called Metal Explosion, and you can see the bands on there. We've got some Samson, Praying Mantis, Trespass, Taurus, more. I couldn't read the label from that one then. Money, Gillan, and Angel Witch. So this is a pretty cool one to have. Again, most of these, because they're compilations, there's not really a lot of effort being put into the the packaging as such. Monsters of Rock, 1980 as well, I think. So this is kind of this is a live compilation from the lineup from the Donington Monsters of Rock for this year, with Rainbow, Scorpions, April Wine, Saxon, Riot, and Touch. So there's a couple of tracks from Rainbow. This would have been the Graham Bonnet era, I think. Yes, because there's a guy walking around in a white suit. Yeah, so a couple of rainbow, a couple of scorpions, one April wine, Saxon, one touch, and one riot. Polydor, nice one to have. Picked that one up fairly recently actually for a good price. These next three are probably my three favourite in the list, and ones I actually did go out and try and search for and source. And the first one is the first Metal for Mothers release. And this one, again, no in there, but on the EMI label. So on Metal for Mothers we have Iron Maiden, Sanctuary, Sledgehammer, the EF Band, Toad the Wet Sprocket, Praying Mantis, Ethel the Frog, Angel Witch, another Iron Maiden. We've got Wrathchild on here as well, some Samson, and Nuts as well. Nice little bio of the how the album was put together. So that was Metal for Mothers, and that was followed up in the same year. I think we're still in 80, or are we in 81 now? We're still in 1980. This is Metal for Mothers 2, Cut Loud, and I actually prefer the bands on this, well, as an album really. Probably because I hadn't heard of most of the bands on here. So we've got Trespass, Easy Money, Zero with an X, White Spirit, Dark Star, Horsepower, Red Alert, Chevy, The Raid, and another Trespass song. So this is a really good. If you see a copy of this, I thoroughly recommend this one. I may have paid a bit more than $3.99 though. And finally, within the same series, and kind of completes the series, is this. It's more of an EP really. So this is just Mother's Pride, and it's in a single sort of cardboard sleeve, like you would get a 12-inch single. And then we've got Wildfire, Quartz, White Spirit, and Baby Jane as the tracks, and a little promo for the Metal for Mothers and Metal for Mothers Volume 2. But I was really pleased I could actually kind of get this little mini collection of the of Metal for Mothers together. So they're getting harder to find out there. 1981 now, I think. Yeah. So another Friday rock show with the explosion of new wave of British heavy metal. What better way to get the word out than throw a number of bands onto an album? Again, probably nothing on the inside. No, plain white sleeve. So what do we have on here? We've got some Spider, some Diamond Head, Sweet Savage, Last Flight, Demon, Black Axe, Witchfind, and Zero. Again, really good compilation from BBC, Friday Rock Show. And last one of this pile, showed you Axe Attack earlier from 1980, where they followed up with the imaginatively titled Axe Attack Volume 2. And so we've got some Rainbow, Motorhead, Black Sabbath, Samson, Michael Schenker, Rush, Scorpions, Whitesnake, Iron Maiden, Def Leppard, yeah, kind of everything. Ted Nugent, Gillan, Blue Oyster Cult, UFO, and Judas Priest. And that's actually for a K-Tel album. I mean, this is really, really thin. Bearing in mind it's 81. This feels like it was produced in 89. The plastic's so thin, but it's, you know, it's K-Tel. It doesn't sound fantastic, but yeah, nice to have sort of Axe Attack and Axe Attack Volume 2. I'm just grabbing another stack. Okay, next up we've got a compilation from Carrera Records called Heavy Metal Thunder. You can see the bands there. We've got a couple of tracks from Saxon, Heavy Metal Thunder and Motorcycle Man. In fact, there's 3. There's Denim and Leather as well. There's 2 tracks from Rose Tattoo, a couple from Rage, a couple from Demon, and a couple from Docking. This is an interesting one actually. There are different, depending on what region you're in, there are different versions of this album. I think they all have at least these three on, but some don't have Dokken, maybe some don't have Rose Tattoo. The US pressings, I think there's a South America pressing. They've got a slightly different lineup, but there's the same cover. And then on the back, you have obviously the track list and all pictures of each of the albums that on the Carrera roster, that they've taken the songs from. This is a cool one. This is on Ebony, and this is Metal Maniacs. And a lot of bands that didn't really make it on here: Uncle Cyrus, sorry, Mad Avenue, Chateau, Madame Guillotine, Omen, Menace. That's Omen, O-M-U-N. Trojan, Fallen Angel, Mirage, Angel Underground, Cry Wolf, Stranger, and Emerald. I think Chateau may be the only band that got a deal out of that lot. There's the black ebony label. Now, Music for Nations did a number of compilations as well, of which I have a few that you're going to see. This is one of the best. This is MFN 12. And as you can see, we've got some Manowar, Rat, Virgin Steel, Battle Axe, Metallica, Rocks, Virgin Steel, Talus, Tank, and Merciful Fate make up the lineup on this one. Oh, there is actually an inner in this one, so you can see some pictures of the bands on the roster. And then a nice big, difficult to see, but Music for Nations logo there. Of course, the Music for Nations label. Music for Nations presents Hell Comes to Your House. Unfortunately, this one is not in great condition. The vinyl looks okay, but it's really crackly, and I have done everything to clean it. I've even done the glue method, but it's just, I think it's just been played to death. So I'm definitely looking for a better version of this one. So on here we have Manowar, Exciter, Anthrax had just come in, so I think this is around, I think we must be on 84 now, 83, 84. Yeah, 1984 we're up to. Earthshaker, Hellion, Loudness, Metallica, Hellstar, The Rods, Tsunami, Earthshaker, and Alaska. So it's a killer lineup on the comp, but unfortunately it just doesn't sound great when I play it. Excuse me. A bit of a innocent gun. I think this is the last Music for Nations, so this is an interesting one. This is a double album, actually. And this one is strictly for connoisseurs. And it's Music for Nations basically showcasing a number of bands that didn't really make it out of USA or Canada. So side 1, 1994, Legs Diamond, Desmond Child and Rouge, American Tears, 707 and Marcus. Side 2, Reckless, Rabbit, Moxie, Tantrum, Zon and Balance. Side 3, Terry, Desario, Rex, Mayday, Trigger, The Boys, Ram Jam and Joe Perry. Side 4, Angel, Stars, Reggie Knighton, Trillion, Max Webster, and Star Castle. In fact, there's a lot of those there. I'm reading them out now. I have listened to this once or twice before, and I couldn't tell you what half of those bands sound like. I'm gonna have to give it another spin. But there's a little bio of each of the bands, and again, nothing exciting to look at inside, but nice to have. This is 86, I think. Yeah, because as I say, I have nothing from I have nothing from 1985 in my Cobb's collection. No, it's not obvious. I'm pretty sure this was 86 though. Moving on, how are we doing for time? About 3/4 of the way through, so this might be another 5 minutes or so. This is Metal Killers Collection Volume 2. I'd quite like to get Volume 1 just for completeness. This I actually got in a trade with a guy that doesn't make VC videos anymore, unfortunately, Rui Martins in Portugal. We set up a trade some time ago, and this wasn't one of the items of the trade, but he threw it in anyway, and I'm quite glad that he did, because it's a great compilation to have there. You can see some of the artists there, but the full lineup. It's a double album. We've got Hello Rocks, The Rods, Stars, Wasted, Mama's Boys, Tyson Dog, Black Sabbath, Tease, Smash Gladys, Witchfinder General, Twisted Sister, and Warfare. And then on disc 2, Accept, Alaska, Gods, Rogue Male, Fist, and Reckless. And finally, Raven, Diano, Sabu, 12th Night, Hell's Bells, and Jim Dandy. But yeah, really cool compilation. Some killer pictures on the inside there. There we go, Metal Killers collection. Oh, we're back to Music for Nations, I think. Yeah. This is Mad Tracks 2 Beyond Metal Zone. Again, I'd like to get Mad Tracks. It's a Music for Nations one, so one day it shall be mine. These are the artists and the albums that we have tracks taken from. We can probably recognise quite a few of those just from that picture. But for completeness, we've got some Surgeon, Sabotage, Tigers of Pantang, Legs Diamond, Metallica, Baby Taku, who knows them, Eric Martin, Wasted, Robin Trower, Exciter, Rio, Thrasher, Sugar Creek, and Legs Diamond. So a bit of a mixture between sort of metal and hard rock on here. And again, there's these albums. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 of those, so still a few more from that Music for Nations collection that I still need to grab at some point in time. Onto the last batch here. Surprise, surprise, it's a Music for Nations. This time it's the singles collection. Over 100 minutes of the best in heavy metal. Gatefold. Recognise some of these bands. Here we go. And we have, again, double album. Oh, these ones have got printed in as well. So we've got Tank, Rocks, Virgin Steel, Metallica, Merciful Fate, and Earthshaker. Alaska, Wasp. It's actually got Wasp, Animal, Felt Like a Beast on here as well, which is, I think that at the time this might have been the only place that you could get it on an album. Loudness, Wendy O. Williams, Metallica, Exciter, Rogue Male, Q5, Alaska, Wasted, Rio, Eric Martin, Baby Taku again, Legs Diamond, Rogue Male, Rio, and Agent Steel. So all bands on the Music for Nations roster. Yeah, nice little write-up on Music for Nations, about Music for Nations, which is fantastic. And pictures of the albums these songs were taken from, and Straight Music for Nations logo on there. So that's the Music for Nations singles album. Go on, have a guess which label this next one is from. If you guessed Music for Nations, you were correct. So this is A Nightmare on Carnaby Street. Music for Nations presents again, it's another double album. And from those pictures you can see we have some Exodus, Heathen, Hellion, Agent Steel, Wild Dogs, Zoetrope, Hellion, Lars Rocket, Q5, Rio, Tiger Tails and Rogue Male. Finish off with some Striper, Michael Furlong, Creek and some Tiger Tails. I think this may have been 87. We're getting towards the end of the 80s now. Yeah, fortunately no data now. I'm pretty sure this is 87 though. That I believe is the last of the Music for Nations one. This one's a bit strange. This one's but when I saw it, I had to grab it. So this is the Bailey Brothers present the Vinyl Frontier, and it only has 5 bands on it. I think each band has 2 tracks. So we've got Cougar, Voyager UK, The Alliance, Lars Erik Mattsson, and Faithful Breath. I think Lars Erik Mattsson is a real shredder. They call him a mystery man here. Nobody quite knows what he looks like. He's from a small island in Finland, but those tracks are okay. It talks here about how Bailey Brothers, you know, they put their life and soul into finding great new music. But yet, Faithful Breath, I think, is a German band that was formed in 1974. So they're not actually that new. Yeah, formed in 1974. They already had like 2 or 3 albums out, so I'm not sure how they feel that they're worthy of being on a Future of British Rock album when they're German. And we've also got a Finnish guy here as well. So yeah, they also talk about being the first one. I don't think they actually followed up with another one. But yeah, the Bailey Brothers, I think they were. This was still in the shrink. I think they were MTV DJs. I first heard about the Bailey Brothers because they were like the MCs at Castle Donington in 1987. It had been Tommy Vance all the way up there, but apparently he got kicked out. They brought the Bailey Brothers in, and they were highly strung American guys on the stage, and I don't think it worked so well with a load of British people standing in the rain. So that was my one other thing of them. But I thought it was a quite cool thing to have in the compilations collection. Stars on Thrash, seen this one shown quite a few times as well. This was kind of, it wasn't my introduction to thrash, but I remember buying this one back in the 80s. This is 88 or 89, 1988. Just because I'd heard about thrash. I knew Anthrax, I knew a bit about Metallica, but that was kind of about it. And a lot of these bands kind of scared me. They were so kind of aggressive, and the vocals took a little bit of time. But we've got Flotsam and Jetsam, Mucky Pup. So these names I'm reading out now, this is the first time I probably would have heard any of these bands. So Flotsam and Jetsam, Mucky Pup, DRI, Pestilence, Toxic, Paradox, Stormtroopers of Death, Acrothet, Gothic Slam, Slayer, Sacred Wraith, Snow White, Cat, the Great Cat, Atrophy, and Hades. It's a great album. It's one of my favourite ones, actually. A lot of memories on that one. And then finally, the last two from 1989. This is Guitar Masters. This is a Shredder's Paradise. So we've got Marty Friedman, well known for being in Megadeth, of course. Greg Howe. This is him when before Dave Mustaine got to him and made him look like a thrasher. Greg Howe, Racer X, Apocrypha, Vicious Rumours, Jason Becker, Cacophony, Joey Tafola, and Dr. Mastermind. It's not an album I can really listen to these days, end to end. It's kind of all instrumentals, at least probably all of them. Maybe one or two aren't, but I enjoyed it back in the day. And the last one that we have, also from '89. This is Metal Hammer's magazine's Best of British Steel. and this kind of showed that 80s metal was really, really struggling. They try and sell it in all the blurb as being this is why metal is so strong and will survive. Great write-up on it, but there's probably one or two good tracks on each side. The thrash tracks, there's one thrash track on each side, and they're probably the better ones. But we've got Dogs D'Amour, Sabbat, Wrathchild, Lawnmower Death, Tricks Federation, Tattooed Love Boys, Acid Rain, Lisa Dominique, Mantis, Reanimator, Midnight Blue, Death Trash, Tiger Tails, Death Wish, Last of the Teenage Idols, Virus, Torino, and finishing up with Sacrilege, After Hours, Licks, Metal Messiah, and Soho Roses. So there you go. That's my 80s metal comps collection. Let me know if you have any of these, or if there are any cool ones you think I am missing. Thanks for watching. It's a long one. I hope you stuck with it, and catch you soon. Cheers.